Hey everyone, this is the 5th Dungeon Delve Devlog. For today's episode, I'll be showcasing my dungeon generator. In its current state, there are 20 possible rooms that can be spawned depending on how many rooms are adjacent. There are 2 room types. One is combat, where the players will fight enemies, and the other is a trap room, where the player has to navigate obstacles. The generation is done by creating a 2D array of level nodes, which are classes that contain essential information that can be used later. Before determining whether each node will represent a room, the system picks a random node from the first row and the last row to represent a start room and an end room, which in time will contain the level boss. After that, I use random range to check if the node should be a room. If the random chance is less than or equal to obstacle chance, the node will be an empty space in the dungeon. By default, the chance of these empty spaces is 40%, so that means if the random chance is greater than 40%, the node will be a room. As I'm using randomness to create the map, there is a possibility that the dungeon could be incomplete. So to make sure the players can move from the start room to the end room, I use this find path function. What this does is use an A* search algorithm on all the level nodes to check if there is a complete path. If there is not a path between the start and end room, the generation process restarts. Otherwise, I can then use the same function to check for non-attached level nodes, which if found are removed. Now all the nodes have been set up, rooms can now be spawned where appropriate. The instantiated room is chosen randomly from a list depending on how many rooms are adjacent, and then rotated to fit the dungeon properly. Since the dungeon is generated dynamically, the nav mesh needs to be baked at runtime. Because this isn't a default Unity feature, I installed the nav mesh components from Unity's GitHub, which allows this. All this means is that my AI can be placed in any room and still navigate the obstacles properly. That's all for this dungeon generation right now. My plans for this game are to have each level with a different theme. For example, this first level will be goblins, and the second could be skeletons. Furthermore, I'll keep adding rooms to ensure that each playthrough will be slightly different. But for now, that's all I have to show. For the next devlog, I'll be working on the player's abilities. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.